I'd like to ask Chris to come up. By the way, not unlike Andy, Chris Davis, those of you, I'm sure many of you know Chris. The truth of the matter is he's been instrumental, and I'm personally, and I know our groups are deeply appreciative of all that you've done to make this event happen. So thank you very much.
Well, I'm a blowhard, so I don't need the microphone. I'm going to steal my... Did Mary just give me advice on the microphone? For those of you that go to men's club, that's kind of funny. I'd like to steal some words from my favorite orator of the decade, right, Barack Obama. Fired up and ready to go? Yeah! Say it again like he did. Fired up and ready to go? Yeah! All right. Boo. Hit the boo at the end. Well, it's kind of funny. I have a little confession to make before we get started here. I'm just a guy, just a regular guy. I'm just a dad. I'm just a father. And I just am really disappointed in the direction that this country is headed. You know, this country's been described as the shining city on the hill, right? By one of all of our favorite people in the world, whose name we will not say because there's not enough people here to honor him, right? Ronald Reagan. And it's just frustrating to me because our country right now is a giant ship for the last 2 decades that's been pushing away from that giant city on the hill, the shining light, the beacon of hope. We've been doing this for 2 decades now. And we've all been frustrated as voters. And we've jumped off the pier and swam out to the ship. We've tried to push that ship, turn it around, and get it going back towards the city. We've called our congressmen, we've called our senators, and flat out, we're not getting the job done. It's not working, right?
Right.
Right? That's the reason that we're here today, is to get in the boat. Get in the boat, get in the captain's seat, and turn this boat around and head it back towards that shining city on the hill. And it's not going to happen overnight. Who else is frustrated with this country? Raise your hand. Hold them up, please. Look at the person on your left and on your right with your hands still in the air. That is who is going to change this country. That is who is going to turn this stuff around, and it starts now. It starts today. I'm thrilled. We have some great speakers here, and I got to tell you guys, the 912 group doesn't endorse candidates. I'm affiliated with the 912 group, but I'm a hardcore Republican, and that's flat out how it is. But I care about this country, and I'm here. Most of the people we talked to today are in the same boat. They want us to get involved with them. They want us to help them. They want to help get this country turned around. So we're going to do some caucus training today. We've got some fantastic speakers, and if you would, our first speaker of the day is someone that I've just barely gotten to know, but I really admire. His name is Matt Arnold. He's a 5th or 6th generation Colorado. I was a little confused by that, but then I was explained that depends on what side of the family you're talking about. He speaks 3 languages. He witnessed in person the fall of the Berlin Wall, which is really the first big political movement of my lifetime that I remember vividly. He's a military veteran, currently serving with the National Guard, tours in Afghanistan, New Orleans, and did DNC security. He's a heck of a speaker, and we're thrilled to have him. Please welcome Matt Arnold.
Good morning.
Morning.
Wow, what a fantastic turnout. To kind of misquote Michelle Obama, I've never been more proud of my country than right now. Seriously, we are stepping up and taking things back. This is absolutely fantastic. 2010 is going to be an absolutely pivotal year, not just for the country as a whole, but for Colorado in particular. And we already have our campaigns for governor, for U.S. Senate, for the Congress, for the state legislature already in full gear. But the most important 4 votes that you will cast this year are not for any of those, although very important races. The most important 4 votes you will cast this year are 4 no votes on the out-of-control Supreme Court justices of our state Supreme Court. Justices Michael Bender, Alex Martinez, Nancy Rice, and most importantly, Chief Injustice, Mary Malarkey. Yeah, that's her real name. You know, thanks to this very activist court, and Gary talked about activist judges, we've seen our Constitution ripped to shreds. And because of that, we've seen our property taxes skyrocket. We have seen our car tax skyrocket, and yes, it is a tax. We've seen a veritable explosion of new fees. We've already seen the legislature announce their intention to balance the budget by utilizing this loophole ripped into the Constitution last year by the Malarkey Court to go after existing tax credits and tax exemptions. In other words, taxes that you're not paying now but will have the opportunity to do so thanks to the Supreme Court and thanks to this legislature. Folks, this Supreme Court does not recognize the law. They believe that the Constitution means whatever they say it means. They think that there are no constraints in their power, that they can rewrite legislation at will, and they've done so. They can simply redefine terms to reach a predefined conclusion rather than uphold the law, which is their solemn duty. We had a bunch of veterans up here stand up. How many of you folks remember the oath we all took? We raised our right arm and we swore to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States, and if you're in the Army National Guard in a state, which I am, the Constitution of the state of Colorado. Any of you absolved of that oath when you got out?
No.
No. That oath is binding and permanent. And these judges took a similar oath, and they were forsworn in that oath. They're not following the Constitution. They're not upholding their duty as judges to be referees and not players. They have injected themselves into the political process, this Supreme Court, and we need to hold them accountable. They are out of control. They do not recognize limits. They do not recognize constraints. And the Constitution is not their law. It does not mean what they decide that it means on a given day. The Constitution was put in place on the national level and here in Colorado to limit the powers of government. Note I say the powers of government. Government has no rights. We, as people, as individuals, have rights. And we've got to stand up for those rights and hold these out-of-control justices accountable. Now, I could talk all day, and the folks that know me know that I could easily talk all day about all of the transgressions that this Supreme Court has committed against it. I'm just going to highlight very briefly again, the property tax increase, the so-called mill levy tax freeze. It is a property tax increase. And according to our Constitution, we the people have a right to vote on tax increases before they take effect. And this Supreme Court denied you that right. The car tax, and yes, it is a tax, again, only possible because of a ruling by this state Supreme Court that ripped yet another hole in the Constitution. It's a long list of tax credits and exemptions that they're going to be coming at, trying to nickel and dime us to death. Again, only able to do that because of the rulings of this state Supreme Court. Eminent domain abuse, usurping the powers of the legislature. They're going to decide what an appropriate level of funding is for schools. That is some of the most detailed, grassroots, local government issues, and they have decided, they have arrogated themselves the power to be the ultimate decider on every policy issue in this state. They do not have that right. We need to remind them of that, and we can do so. November 2010, again, 4 of the worst of these, Bender, Martinez, Rice, and Malarkey, are up for a vote. We need to hold them accountable. We need to restore accountability to our judiciary, bring back balance to the bench, stand up for our constitutional rights, and vote these unjust justices out of office. Again, I'll wrap up. My name is Matt Arnold. Clear the Bench Colorado is my website. Please grab one of these brilliantly yellow flyers, a bunch of them hanging out there, and getting better at this. I'm not a politician, I'm not used to this, but this is a campaign. I do need your support, so please grab one of these business supply envelopes, help support the campaign. We do need your help to get the word out, because if the word gets out, if people hear about this before they get their ballot and realize just what these justices, these unjust justices have done to us, ripped away our rights and reached deep into our wallets, they will be held accountable. We can't vote them out. Clear the Bench Colorado, and clearthebenchcolorado.org is the website. Thank you very much.